In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 must-have cards at each position right now in NBA 2K25 My Team. I'm trying out something new here in today's video. I usually do a top 10 must-have cards video every week or two for, each content drop and all that type of stuff. But I want to get you guys a top 5 at each position. You guys can know, instead of just the top 10 must-have cards in the game, just in general, at each position, what do I think are the top 5 must-have cards? For example, for top 5 must-have point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers, we'll be talking about in today's video. So starting it off here with the top 5 must-have point guards right now in this game, and kind of just to explain what I mean by a must-have card, is it doesn't really matter the price. I think there's some must-have cards on this list that go for 500,000 MT plus, but then there's also some cards on here that are 5k, because I think I'm trying to give you guys different price points of must-have, point guards, for example, in game. Again, for example, at the number 5 spot for the 5th must-have point guard in the game right now, I do think it's Dante Exum, because he's 5,000 MT and he is super elite. Now, there'll be point guards on here that are a lot more expensive than Dante Exum, but I do think Dante Exum, if you're looking for that budget point guard, is definitely a must-have buy. He's 6'6" at point guard, 6'9" wingspan. His defense is really good across the board, 94 steal, 94 perimeter, 92 interior defense, great Hall of Fame badges, and does have a good jump shot. So like, Dante Exum I think is a must-have budget card if you guys are looking for a budget point guard. Now if you're looking to spend a little bit more MT, I think Alex Caruso is also a must-have point guard. I do think he's better of a point guard than Dante Exum, but he goes for like 70k, 80,000 MT, so he's obviously a lot more expensive. So that's kind of where the comparison comes in. So if you guys are looking for a cheaper card, go for Dante Exum. If you have a bit more MT to spend, maybe go for Alex Caruso, because I do think he's the better point guard and is a must-have pickup at the point guard position. Really good defensively, especially on the perimeter. He's got good speed, athleticism. I like his jump shot. I like his dribble sigs. All around, a huge fan of Alex Caruso. But then at number 3, I do have John Wall, and this one's going to be kind of a, you'll see in a second why I have John Wall as a must-have point guard, because one, he's very good, and I do think he's a must-have card because of the sense that Tim Duncan, the Pro Pass card, the Pro Pass version of the level 40 Tim Duncan, is the best card in this game. So you need to buy the Pro Pass to get that Tim Duncan, but you also get a really good point guard in John Wall. So I know it's a card that you have to spend money on, and I don't really recommend you guys ever to spend money on this game, but if you want to play this game a lot in season number 6, I do think buying the Pro Pass is sort of a must-have, because you get John Wall, who's a very elite point guard. He's great offensively, especially if you can time his jump shot. Me personally, I struggle with his release a ton. I find it very hard to green with just because it's a super fast release, but if you're good with his jump shot, he's an amazing offensive card. But I think he's a must-have card more so in the sense of it allows you to get that Pro Pass Tim Duncan, we'll talk about here in a second, for the power forwards, who is like the best card in this game and is a must-have card to get. So that's why John Wall's here at number 3. But number 2 is going to be the best budget point guard in this game and is seriously a must-have point guard card if you guys are looking for a point guard, and that is going to be Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels. He is so good at the point guard position, 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. The defense is seriously unreal. I truly believe that Dyson Daniels can compete against any other point guard in this game, but I wanted to, at number 1, recommend you guys a must-have point guard if you're looking to spend tons of MT on a point guard. Now, I don't think necessarily you guys have to get this card, but I do think if you're willing and wanting to spend a lot of MT, I think the best card to go with is Dark Matter Lonzo. And for me, it was between Lonzo, it was between Gary Payton and also Shea. And for the comparison, I think Lonzo's the better point guard between those 3 cards, but Shea's also like a million MT. Gary Payton's about the same price as Lonzo, maybe a little bit cheaper, but I do think Lonzo is the better point guard. So again, I'm trying to give you guys a bunch of different price points. So if you're looking for like a super cheap point guard, I think the must-have pickup is Dante Exum. Maybe you're wanting to spend a little bit more MT, then I think Dyson Daniels is a must-have point guard. If you're willing to spend maybe 100k, 80k, Alex Caruso, he's a must-have point guard. If you're willing to spend 500,000 MT plus, I think Lonzo Ball is the card to pick up, and then John Wall just kind of in there as well, because I do think the Pro Pass is a must-have buy. But yeah, that's going to be my top 5 must-have point guards right now in season 6. Now going on to the top 5 must-have shooting guards, at number 5 is going to be a free card, and that's going to be this Dark Matter free Grant Hill. Now I think he's a must-have because you get him for completely free, and I also think he's a very good shooting guard with a lot of versatility at the shooting guard position. Number 4, I do have Robert Covington, aka Rocco. I think he is so underrated at shooting guard, and again, is that very budget option. He's like 5,000 MT. So if you guys are looking for a shooting guard and you want to get one for free, go for Grant Hill. If you want to spend 5k or less, go ahead and get Rocco. Both these cards are amazing at the shooting guard position. Robert Covington is so great defensively, and has a pretty good jump shot. And Grant Taylor is just that complete shooting guard that is very well rounded at every single thing right now in 2K. But at number 3, I do think Ricky Davis is, again, a card that maybe if you want to spend now 40K, you want to spend 50K, 60K, Ricky Davis is a must-have shooting guard. He's really good offensively, has a great jump shot, can play defense, can slash to the rim, does everything at such a high level. If you want just another option for about the same price tag as Ricky Davis, go ahead and get yourself Pink Diamond Dr. J. He is such a great shooting guard. I think he's a must-have pickup at the shooting guard position. Really good offensively. I like his jump shot, plays good defense, and is honestly one of the better value cards in this entire game. And then for number 1, again, if you're wanting to spend more MT, if you're wanting to put a little bit more into your shooting guard, you want to get a better option, go for Dark Matter Ron Artest. He's about 300 to 400K. He's really good for that price. He plays top tier defense. He's a great all-around card, but is mainly there for his defensive presence. And again, it just comes down to what price point are you guys looking to buy at the shooting guard position. I'm trying to get you guys must-have shooting guards in every single position for different price points, but in my opinion, these are going to be the top 5 must-have shooting guards. Now, the top 5 must-have small forwards, I think, are all very good for their price, and I think they're all must-have pickups. For example, if you're looking for a cheap small forward that goes for 30,000 MT, Jonathan Bender is your go-to guy. He is a 7-foot small forward with a really good jump shot, gives you a lot of versatility at the small forward position. Being 7 foot with a 7'4" wingspan and a top tier jump shot allows you to do a ton of things on the offensive end and also the defensive end as well. So Jonathan Bender, really like this card at the small forward position. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more MT, right, you want to put a little bit more MT into the small forward position, at number 3, just kind of jump ahead here, you could go for Terry Dischinger. Now, he's a lot more expensive than Jonathan Bender, so that's kind of where you have to keep that comparison in, right? Do you want to spend 150K plus, or do you want to get Jonathan Bender, who's like 30,000 MT? I think that's where the debate definitely comes into play, right? Terry Dischinger, 6'7" at small forward, 6'11" wingspan. I think he's a great card across the board. I think he's a must-have small forward for his specific price point. But if you want a card kind of in that middle there, maybe like 50 to 60K, he's kind of gone back up in price, is this Galaxy Opal Carlos Boozer. He's a really complete small forward. I think he plays great defense in game. He's 6'9" at the 3, 7'2" wingspan, so really good player model, 95 block, 98 interior defense. I think he's got a great jump shot with that Colin Sexton upper on very quick. The dribble sigs are okay. They're not exceptional, but they're definitely good enough to help him score the ball. So again, 30K for Jonathan Bender, maybe 50, 60K for Boozer, and about 150K, maybe 200K for Terry Dischinger. I think these are like really must-have small forwards right now in this game. But I think number 2 is like, honestly could be argued as number 1, and that is Pink Diamond Michael Beasley. I can't recommend this card enough. For only 100,000 MT, he's 6'9" at small forward, 7-foot wingspan, with seriously one of the best jump shots in this entire game. He's one of the best 3-hunting cards in this entire game, and he's also at the small forward position, which does have a lot of value to have that good of an offensive card at small forward, because most of the people's offensive cards are at point guard and shooting guard, but to have that also at small forward is very valuable to have, and I think he's a must-have pickup at the small forward position. But again, if you're looking to spend that ton of MT, you're looking to get a top tier, one of the best small forwards in this game, I think Josh Smith is the pickup. He's about 500,000 MT. He might even be a little bit cheaper depending when you're getting him throughout the week or throughout the day, at the time of day, but he is so good at small forward, 6'9" at small forward, 7-foot wingspan. And to me, he's Michael Beasley with defense, because Michael Beasley might have the better jump shot, but I do think it's a very similar release. It's very quick, just like Michael Beasley's release, but his defense is so much better than Michael Beasley's. Like, if you're Michael Beasley, if you compare the cards, right, he is so much better of a defender, but is about the same offensively as Michael Beasley. In my personal opinion, these are going to be the top 5 must-have small forwards. Now, the top 5 must-have power forwards in this game, I think at number 5 is going to be Kel'el Ware, a really good defensive power forward, gets great animations, and for, again, 25-30K, he's going to be kind of that must-have budget power forward right now in my team. Another free card that you guys can get, now it's not guaranteed to get, but if you can get this card, Moses Malone is really good at power forward. He plays great defense. He's a bit undersized, but he has a really good jump shot. And I think his defensive stats and badges definitely make up for this card being undersized. And I think he's for sure a must-have power forward if you guys can get him. Number 3 is going to be Galaxy Opal Jaren Jackson Jr. I think him and number 2 are very close in comparison, and that's going to be Galaxy Opal Dino. Both are elites at the power forward position, and that one really just comes down to preference. So I wanted to give you guys 2 options for that like 100,000 MT price point. I think Dino's more of like 80K, Jaren's like 100,000 MT. So again, if you're willing to spend a little bit more MT than like a Kalel Ware. I do think Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dino Raja are both very elite cards. They're great defensively, they have good jump shots, and they're just all around beast at the power forward position. But like I was talking earlier at the point guard position, when I mentioned to you guys about John Wall, about the Pro Pass, and that's getting this Pro Pass Tim Duncan, because seriously, when I tell you guys Pro Pass Tim Duncan is the best card in this game, I am not lying. He is unbelievably good. 6'11" at power forward, 7'3" wingspan. But the thing about this card, he's obviously going to have those stats and those badges as a 100 overall card, 99 every single stat, tons of good Hall of Fame badges. He has every single one on defense. But the thing about this card compared to the free one is they gave him the KPJ base, which is one of the better bases in this game. They gave him the Pro 2 fade. They gave him the Garland escape, the Kemba Walker, the Darius Garland side, a dribble style, the Steph Curry size up, the Kemba escape, and the tray behind the back. Those are some of the best dribble sticks in this game. He has one of the best big man motion styles in this game, and just one of the best motion styles in this game, which really does matter. The Pro 2 fade's probably one of the better fades, and the KPJ base is one of the best bases, and he has one of the best jump shots right now in my team. So as a must-have card, he's probably number one. Would definitely recommend you guys are grinding to level 40 right now in season 6, and also buying the Pro Pass to get yourself John Wall, and also get yourself this Pro Pass Tim Duncan. Now the last position I want to talk about when we're talking about the top 5 must-have cards at each position is going to be the center position, and at number 5, again, if you're going for the budget card, that is going to be Diamond Tyson Chandler. Also at number 4 is another great budget option, and that is going to be Pink Diamond Eddie Curry, both around that 5 to 10,000 MT mark. Tyson Chandler may be a bit better defensively, but Eddie Curry is definitely better offensively with a way better jump shot. But both of these cards are must-have center cards, you know, for the budget price tag. If you're looking to spend a little bit more, maybe you want to spend 50 to 60, maybe 70,000 MT, I think Kristaps is a really good buy. He's a 7'2" center card, has a 93.3, has good Hall of Fame shooting badges, has a good jump shot. He's a great stretch big for a little bit more MT. He's a little bit more expensive than Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler, but is debatably better. At number 4 is going to be an expensive card here, and that is going to be Dark Matter Joel Embiid. But I do think this card seriously for his price is amazing. Now, if you wanted to spend a little bit more, you could go out and maybe you want like a David Robinson, right? Maybe you want to go get a D-Rob at the center position. I could understand that he's a little bit more expensive. Maybe you want to go out and get a Dark Matter Chet, right? There's so many cards you could choose for this center position. I ultimately went Embiid just because of his price. I do think it's a lot better. You know, he's only about like 400, maybe 500,000 MT, which really isn't that expensive for how good Embiid is. And then at the number 1 spot, you guys know, probably one of the most must-have cards in this game is Pink Diamond Wemby. I can't recommend this card enough to you guys. He is seriously so good at the center position. 7'4", has an elite level jump shot, one of the best defenders in this game. And honestly guys, these are going to be my top 5 must-have centers in the game. These are going to be my top 5 must-have point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and again, the top 5 must-have centers. But let me know in the comment section down below if you like this kind of concept of idea, trying something out new here on the channel. And I think you guys can benefit from this video as well, quite a bit, just to know like what I do think are like must-have cards at each position in this game. I recommend all of these cards to you guys in Rate Your Team series, and just I would highly recommend every single card on this list is really good at the respective position. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys did find it helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.